a little bit. Sorry, I have a hair on my lip. Excuse me. And if you're gonna plant, and I do recommend if you are, and I do recommend if you are using a liquid foundation, I do recommend the Real Text. Guys, I can't say this. Oh, it says expert face. Guys, I can't talk today. Okay guys, so to start out, first of all, this is going to be a walkthrough video, so I'm just going to kind of be talking to you guys, and I sometimes struggle to talk while I'm doing my makeup, so I'm sorry if that gets kind of annoying, if I'm like stuttering and losing my train of thought, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get right into things. So I already have my face moisturized. I used my Clean and Clear Moisturizer, Dual Action Moisturizer, and then I also used my Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch Ultra Radiance 30 SPF sunscreen. And once it starts getting into like the spring and summer, no matter what I'm doing that day, if I'm going to be outside or not, I always put SPF on, because by the end of the day, like, who knows where I'm going to be or whatever it is. So I just want to make sure that my skin is protected, and also that ultra radiant sunscreen does give a really nice glow to your skin, and I really like the finish that it gives. So yeah, so my face is all moisturized. I do have chapstick on. Those products I don't consider to be makeup products, so I didn't count them in the 10 products, but just because I think that you should be moisturizing your face regardless of whether you're going to be doing your makeup or not. So I just think that's more of like a skincare. So yeah. The other thing that I wanted to say is I think it's super, super, super important to moisturize your skin before you do your makeup. I think a lot of people sometimes don't, I know a lot of people that don't use moisturizer on their face, and that to me, I'm like, what? It helps your foundation or BB cream, whatever you're applying to your face, it's going to help it apply smoother and more clean, and actually more natural looking, even though there is technically more products on your face. The moisture is just going to help the product blend into your face better and just make your skin look more natural and healthy. So the first thing that I'm going to start out with, guys, and like I said, it is going to be 10 products, so I'm mostly focusing on skin. I guess I think that if your skin looks really nice and radiant and glowy, then the rest of your makeup really doesn't matter at that point, because you're going to look put together no matter what. So I am going to start out with my Garnier BB cream. I love this BB cream. It smooths out your face. It does perfect any red marks you have or just discoloration. I have a lot of broken capillaries on my face. Like, I don't know if you guys ever noticed these little red marks on my face, like here and here. They're not breakouts, they're not anything like that. It's like, it's completely smooth. Actually, if you touch it, you can't feel anything at all. I just made my cheek all red by rubbing it. But what it is like, it's just a broken capillary. So it can be from stress, or some of my girlfriends who are in skincare, they actually told me that it could be from like working out really hard at the gym. I can break capillaries in my face. And it can also be from exfoliating, which I exfoliate my face a lot. So I think it might be from that. So I'm trying to be better with that, but anyway, the Garnier BB cream is really great for smoothing out your skin and kind of concealing things like that a little bit. But if you guys are more interested in like a foundation or something, I personally don't like the feeling of a foundation on my face. I'm just used to something more light, like the BB creams or tinted moisturizer. You are applying a liquid foundation, to apply it with either a brush or a makeup sponge or beauty blender. A good brush is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and it looks like this. It's just very dense and it's soft, and I just like to put a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand and dot it, and then I go ahead and blend it onto my face. But this is a really good brush. I got mine at Ulta, so you can go ahead and apply your foundation that way. You can also, I like beauty blenders, but honestly, I personally prefer these little makeup wedges. Sorry, mine's dirty. You can get these at Walgreens, Walmart, any type of drugstore, and it's right in like the makeup and nail section. They're really soft, and I just feel like they're easier to use, and they give a really nice finish. They're easier to use than the beauty blenders, in my opinion. And I just like the feel of these. They're super cheap. They're not like 20 bucks like a beauty blender would be at Sephora. And it comes in like a huge pack of like 20, and it comes in like yeah, it comes with a lot. So you can keep them really clean. You can also clean these if you want to get more uses out of them, but I usually just chuck mine after, usually just throw mine away after a few uses. I do recommend using one of those to apply it as well because it also gives a really nice finish. But for today, I am going to be using my BB cream by Garnier, and mine is in the color light to medium. So I just like to apply a little bit on my index finger, and then I use my other, that's not my index finger, that's my middle finger. My middle finger, and I just like to apply a couple dots like all over my face just to get it evenly distributed. Okay, so I keep like turning this light off and on because I feel like I don't know which lighting is better, but sorry about that. So once I have it dotted all over my face, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my fingers to rub it in. For a BB cream or tinted moisturizer, I do recommend just using your fingers. I have tried that BB cream with a brush before and also with a little beauty sponge, and it honestly just doesn't even come out nearly as good as when you use your fingertips. So I would just recommend doing that, and plus it's super simple and easy. It's just like applying a moisturizer. Well, yeah, after applying that, I think that's your one product. So your one product is either foundation, BB cream, tinted moisturizer, something like that to even out your skin tone. The second thing I am going to recommend would be a concealer. Mine is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. You guys have heard a ton about this. It's amazing. It's a drugstore product, so it's really affordable. Mine is in the color Light, 10 Light. So yeah, I just think that a concealer is super important. A lot of people complain about their under eye circles and their foundation doesn't cover that or whatever it is. And I just think having a good concealer that you can always run to is, I'm talking about it like it's my boyfriend. Yeah, a good concealer is just something great to have. So I love to apply mine with my beauty sponge. So the first thing that I like to do is you're gonna look at your face, and the parts that you want to conceal are gonna be small triangles underneath your eyes, and that's gonna lighten up your eyes. Also gonna wanna apply it a little bit on like an upside down triangle on your forehead. That's also gonna help contour and just brighten part of the T-zone in on your face. And when I say T-zone, I'm talking about here. So T, see how that makes a T? So yeah, we're lightening up here, here, down the bridge of our nose. You can put a little above your lip, but that's kind of getting too fancy, but and on your chin. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the spots that you're gonna wanna do it. So there are our upside down triangles there. Do one here. I don't waste any product filling that in. I just like to do a little kind of open triangle there because I do need a little bit, but not too much. And then I just do like a little couple swipes there and then on my nose. So like I said, on our T-zone, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out with my beauty blender, or I should say makeup sponge. And when you do this, you don't wanna pull the product, you wanna just do really small tapping motions. It takes a little bit longer, but honestly, it's gonna give a really nice finish, and you're gonna make more use of the product. If you wipe it, it's just gonna be smearing it away. And obviously that's not the point of putting it there. So and another trick with your concealer, and this will help multi-use the product, but I do like to bring it up on my eyelid like that because then it's going to create like a shadow base or a shadow primer, so that when we put shadow on, our lids won't crease or won't be as likely to crease. Just make sure that's really well blended. So then as you guys can see, my face does look a lot more even than it was, and honestly on camera I guess you can't see, but it is a little bit more glowy and it just looks more finished. If you get really close to my face in person, you can't even really tell that I'm wearing any makeup at all, which I love. I really like that natural look. So those are a couple tips, and with applying it with that beauty blender, the concealer, it's going to give a really natural finish, but still that good coverage that you want. So the next biggest thing is I had someone ask me why that when they put their makeup on at the beginning of the day, by like 3 or 4 hours later, underneath their eyes is like dark again, and it seems like their face makeup is coming off. I asked them if they were using a setting powder, and they said no. So I was like, that is the magic trick right there. That is the answer to your problems. If you feel like your makeup slides around or it doesn't last very long, you're gonna want a setting powder. I'm using the NYX finishing powder HD Banana. I just said that like all backwards. It's the NYX HD finishing powder in the color Banana. And this is really good. It's just like a translucent powder. It's got a yellow tone to it, so it kind of brightens your skin. I like to apply mine with just this little kind of tapered brush, and mine is by e.l.f. It says it's the blush brush, but I use it for my powder. I feel like it gets underneath my eyes really well, and I can kind of get into the corner of my eye as well. So I'm just going to take some of this on my brush and then just apply it to all of the places I applied my concealer. I'm gonna use this on my T-zone. Definitely apply it to your lids, because that is gonna also help your eye makeup not slide around, and it's gonna keep it from creasing. So I'm just applying this all over. And definitely under your eyes, like on your chin, places like that, you don't want to do this. You want to tap it, because again, it's gonna take away the makeup. It's kind of gonna push it around, whereas you tap it, it's gonna keep it right in place. Underneath my neck, I just like to blend it out a little bit just to make sure that everything's nice and blended under there. And then obviously on my forehead, and I don't wanna be shiny on my forehead, so I do pay quite a bit of attention to the sides of my forehead and stuff like that. I just like lost my voice. I think I need a drink. Another thing, guys, is that this tutorial is going to take me probably a little while to film, because I'm completely explaining everything to you guys and talking. But if I were to take these 10 products and just do it by myself on an average day, I don't even think it would take me 10 minutes. So it's a really quick, easy, everyday look, and it's very simple. So it's not much that you really have to think about. Once you kind of realize what the products are used for, you'll just put them in their sequence, and then it'll become more of a routine. So the next thing I'm going to be using is a bronzer. The bronzer I am using is the Victoria's Secret bronzer in Wild Thing. It says mineral bronzing powder. So it definitely has like some shimmer to it. You can see that, which I love. And also, when you get one that has a shimmer, or if it's like a baked bronzer, it's going to be a little bit easier to apply because it's not as harsh or intense as like a matte bronzer. I feel like when you apply a matte bronzer and you go to apply it, it's kind of like, whoosh, whereas this will kind of like blend because of the shimmer, and it's just a little bit more natural looking. So I'm going to be applying that, and I am using this brush that I got from Icing, which Icing is a store that is part of Claire's, I think. So yeah, I got this at Icing, and it says Expert Contouring Brush, which is awesome because that's pretty much what I'm using it for. And it is a little bit tapered, as you guys can see there. And by tapered, I mean it's kind of like thicker around the base, and then it thins out towards the top, which is going to help you really get into your cheekbones and get a nice contour. So my one tip for bronzer, as far as applying it goes, to get a really natural finish and to just kind of contour and shape your face a little bit, is applying it in a 3 shape. So by that I mean a 3, if you can see that, it's like drawing a 3. And up here you apply it because that's where the sun would naturally hit, so it's just going to look really natural and glowing. It's also going to sculpt out your forehead. If you have a bigger forehead, I would really focus it up there a little bit, because it's kind of going to shade your forehead to make it look smaller. But you're going to want to bring it down here. This is going to shape this side of your face, and it's going to start to carry it on to like right above your jawline where your cheeks suck in if you do the fishy face. We bring it here because we want to sculpt out our cheekbones, and then we're bringing it here to sculpt out our jawline a little bit to make our face look a little bit thinner. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to apply it. I always start with the center of the 3. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the bronzer, kind of shake off the extra that's on your brush, and then I'm just going to start applying it to the hollows of my cheeks. Okay, and if you can see the difference in the sides, you can definitely see how that's going to start to sculpt out my cheeks. I'm not going to add any more color onto my brush. I'm just going to continue kind of blending that. So now that I kind of like the depth of that, I'm going to start creating the top of the 3. So I'm going to take a little bit more on my brush, shake it off, and I'm going to work up from the center of the 3 and work my way up to my forehead. I'm gonna do this on one side so you guys can kind of see the difference. And then we're gonna work at the bottom of the 3, add a little bit more to your brush, and then come down. And then blend right onto your neck. You don't have to stay right here, just blend it right down. And then just kind of keep building up the color. If you want a little bit more here, a little bit more here, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. It's looking pretty good to me. I feel like I have more warmth to my face and it's a little more shapely, not so flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my blush, and I'm actually just gonna use the same brush. I pretty much, since I just blended like crazy, I pretty much have all the excess bronzer off of my brush. So the blush I'm using is Ofra Paradise Pink. It's this really nice pink color and it has a tiny, tiny kind of shimmer in there. So it gives a really nice glow to your skin. And for blush, I would just recommend, honestly, starting, like, if you look straight, if I look straight, my pupil is right here. I would never bring blush past my pupil. So you don't want blush all in right here or up here. You kind of just want it from here over, right on the apples of your cheeks, and then slowly kind of glide it back and blend it in with your bronzer. So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm just taking a little bit around the edges of this brush, kind of shaking it off, and I'm just gonna smile. And that shows you the apples of your cheeks. So just really lightly dust this on. I do recommend using a blush with some type of a like sheen to it, because that's gonna help you blend. If you are a beginner, using a matte blush, just the same with the bronzer, it's gonna be a little bit harder to apply and it can be a little more harsh. So yeah, if you're starting out, I would get one that kind of has like a shimmer in it or something like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to the apples of my cheeks. And then as you can see, I start to pull it back. I tap, 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 start to see that color build up, and then I'm gonna just start bringing it back. And then it just kind of becomes a big motion swirling in with my bronzer. So there's that side. And then pull it back. See how that just gave my skin a really nice glow? Like right now, honestly, I feel like if I put on like a light natural lip color, I could go out the door. I don't even need to do my eye makeup or anything, just because I feel like my face is pulled together and it just has a nice healthy glow to it, so I don't look like I just like rolled out of bed. So that's why I think this skin is so important. I am just gonna blend this onto my neck just because I don't know if it's habit, I just do that. So the next product that I'm gonna be using, you guys know I'm obsessed with highlighters. I love highlighters. If you don't have one and you wanna get one that is affordable, I do recommend the Hard Candy Baked Bronzer in the color Tiki. This is what it looks like. Mine is obviously broken. I have it like held together with tape. But the color Tiki, they have ones that are darker. This one, I guess on camera, it does kind of look like a bronzer, but it's much lighter in person, and I think it's a beautiful highlight. It's super easy to apply. I think cream highlights can be a little bit harder, so for beginners, I do recommend a powdered highlighter. But I'm just going to be applying it with this like fan brush, and it's just a little bit thinner than like a normal brush, and it's long, and it fits right on the right on your cheekbone really well. So for bronzer, for highlighter, I would recommend applying it to the tops of your cheekbones. And again, I wouldn't bring this past, if I'm looking straight, I wouldn't bring this past even my eye color. So like I would bring it to right here and just kind of bring it. I'm just gonna tap a little bit on my brush. And you guys don't need a brush like this. You can actually just rub your finger and apply it. But I have this brush and I love using it for this. So I'm just gonna start. And as you can see, that gives just such a nice touch to your cheekbone. I like to take it and apply it to right above my lip, just to give a nice touch there. Makes your lips appear a little bit larger. And I'll also take a little on my finger and apply it below my brow. Why would I do that? Okay, I'm gonna get into the eyes now. I am using the Naked Basics palette. Really all you need is like a medium brown shade and a light white shimmery shade. So what I mean by that is a shade similar to one of these for your brown shade, and then one similar to this for your white shade. Taking this crease brush, and it's just kind of like a fluffy crease brush. Crease brush. This one is by Eco Tools. Taking these two colors, because for me, this one's too light and this one's too dark, so I'm just gonna kind of mix them. And I'm gonna be taking this into my crease. Now, in my crease is that part of your eye that folds. We do this because it helps create depth in your eye so your eye doesn't look so flat. So you're gonna go ahead and take that shadow and draw it right on that line. And just kind of in windshield wiper motion, back and forth. And I just like to keep my eye open for this because it helps me find my crease. If I close my eye, it's a little bit harder. And by keeping my eye open, it keeps that fold so I can see exactly where I want that color. I'm just gonna do it to the other eye, find my crease, and then windshield wiper. And I wouldn't bring this color in too far. I am blending it all the way to the white part of my eye if I look straight, but don't bring it in towards the center of your eye or even right here. Now that I kind of have that base coat, I can feel, do I want a little more? You know, should I blend a little more? For me, I want it a little bit darker. So I'm just taking it on the tip of my crease brush and again, finding my crease and working on the outside. The darker you get, the further out you wanna bring the eyeshadow. So if I'm gonna add a little bit more of the shadow to make it darker, I'm not even gonna blend all the way in this time. I'm gonna blend just on the outer third, if that makes any sense. You guys really can't mess up with this as long as you're blending. For the light shadow, the reason we need that white kind of shimmery shade, I'm going to, again, highlight my brow bone, and I'm gonna apply it to the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm just tapping it in there, and then as I look up, I'm just gonna kind of blend it very lightly onto my lid. And it definitely gives a nice touch to the eye look, and it makes it look like you spent a lot more time doing your makeup than you probably did. And I'm just gonna take that same white shadow and apply it to my brow bone. You can do this with a matte shade as well. I don't know why I said shimmery. You can definitely do it with a matte kind of white shade. I don't have any products pulled aside for my brows, but if you do want to kind of fill in your brows a little bit, you can use that same kind of medium brown shade depending on your hair color. You can just find a shadow that kind of matches your hair color and just fill in your eyebrows a little bit. This is not necessary though. I don't consider this a beginner's makeup step. This is just kind of a little extra that I like to do, and it's still using just that one product. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Onto an eyeliner. This is my Lorac 3-in-1 waterproof. I've used this a million, kajillion, bajillion times. Any eyeliner will work. I would recommend a waterproof eyeliner. Waterproof is really gonna be important when it comes to that. If you guys absolutely hate waterproof eyeliners, you don't have to use one, but it just helps from coming down here and kind of smearing. So what I'm gonna do is just make sure that your eyeliner is up just a tiny bit, and I like my eyeliner to be the twist ones because the sharpened ones, they get way too sharp and you're gonna poke your eyeball out. So you wanna just make sure that you have like a really nice flat top eyeliner. Let me see how close I can, let's zoom in on my eyeball. So I'm gonna stick this up underneath my eyelid. Like you can see, I'm underneath my eyelashes like this. And I'm just, you can feel right there is your eyelid. Like I am touching my eyelid and it's on the inside. And you're just gonna scribble this on the outer third, like right here, and you're just gonna scribble it. You really can't mess up. If you slip up and get it on your eyeshadow, you can go over it, but I'm just gonna pull to the side, go underneath my eyelashes, and start out here, and just scribble. And you're just barely touching it, but you're just scribbling this right into your eyelashes. And as you can see, even on the outer corner, see how much darker my eyelashes look and how much thicker they look? That is what we want. So depending on how dark you want them, you can kind of just keep going. I just kind of feel it out. So that looks good to me. And again, there is the side-by-side of the difference. This is a really nice touch to help your makeup look finished and like you really spent time on it when it takes 2 seconds to do that, especially once you get used to it. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply my mascara. There are a couple tricks that I like to use. I would say when you have the brush, to start out, I like really thick lashes. If you guys don't, then I would just skip this step. But I like to bring it really close. I'm gonna zoom in again. Sorry guys, this is like way too up close and personal, but I like to take the mascara and wiggle it at the root, because that's just gonna create a lot of depth and it's gonna kind of blend in with the eyeliner that you applied. Kind of made a mess of this side, so I'm just going to take a Q-tip and clean that up. Really, it's best to wait for it to dry before you wipe it up. I'm going to go in with my 10th product, which is my NYX Butter Gloss in the color Angel Food Cake. You guys, again, have heard about this a million times. I like these because it gives a nice color to your lip. It gives a really good shine. So it looks like you applied a lipstick and then a gloss over it, and it looks like you maybe did a lot of work, but you didn't. This applies as easy as chapstick, as far as I'm concerned. So it's in like a lip glossy type bottle, and I'm just gonna apply this to my lips. But yeah guys, that is absolutely it that I have for you guys today. I hope that you learned something from this tutorial. If you learned at least one thing, honestly, that makes this video worth it for me, or if it just helps somebody out there. I have had a lot of questions on just the basics of makeup, and there's just so much to makeup that it's easy to break it down and make it simple, but it's also like I just want to talk and talk and teach, and it's like I tried to keep it as simple as I could. So I hope it was simple for you guys, and just don't be too hard on yourself. Try things out. Maybe try things out when you have a day off or something. So if you end up feeling like you look like a clown, you can just wash it off. It's just makeup. It's not plastic surgery. It's not there forever. So just have fun with it. Don't be hard on yourself, and I hope these tips helped you guys. I hope you enjoyed this look. I think it's perfect for school, work, just every day, and I think it's really flattering on most skin types and eye colors, things like that. So I guess that's all I have for you guys. I hopefully will be having a haul in the near future. I have been doing some shopping in the past few months, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I love you guys. I will see you very soon. Subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.